Hi, I'm Matt.
Hey there, I'm Bianca.
And in this episode, we're talking about how you find a unicorn and, of course, how you make her feel comfortable in bed with you.
So stay tuned.
So what is the number one thing that new couples want?
Threesomes.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
want a magical unicorn.
Yeah.
And in case you don't know what a unicorn is, that is the bisexual woman. Bisexual single woman, generally. And it is the thing that people generally coming into the lifestyle are like, that is what I want. And I think it's because a lot of it is, from a man's perspective, it's like that is the fantasy. That is the fantasy you get when you're a teenager and you're like, I wanna have sex, but you know what would be better than sex? Sex with two women. That would be even better than sex with one woman. That's like, yeah. And I don't know a guy who's like, no, yeah, that's not my jam. That is something that we all kind of aspire to. And when a couple gets into the lifestyle, that's kind of the first thing they're looking for. And in fact, that was what we were looking for first early on. And we actually found it to be fairly difficult early on.
Yeah.
When we were like, this is our goal, is to find a bisexual woman and have a threesome. And it was very difficult. We put it out there and we'd be like, hey, if any single women are out there, and whether it was at the club or whether it was on a lifestyle cruise or some other event, we were always looking for that. And then we ended up it just didn't happen. And so we would have foursomes with other couples, and
which you can't complain about.
No, not at all. And we did that many times. I feel like we were in the lifestyle for at least a year, maybe even 2 years before we actually had a threesome with another woman.
Yeah.
And then since then we've had quite a few of them. But that was something that was fairly difficult to get into. But once we did, then we wanted to make sure that it was something that they would enjoy.
Right.
Because it wasn't about us, it was about her.
Well, and I think that's the right attitude to have, is you're bringing a person into your relationship and making them feel comfortable and not necessarily like a piece of meat. Because that's actually a complaint I hear from a lot of single women, is that they're treated like a toy. They're treated like a piece of meat. And so they don't like it as much because they don't want to be treated like that. Now, that's not to say some women out there probably do like that and that's what they go for, and that's fine. But I think knowing your audience, knowing who you're bringing into the bedroom with you, and knowing what is, what do they want. And I think, think of this as your interview process, right? You do that with couples. Like, what are you into? Like, you kind of interview each other to make sure that you're wanting the same things, right? You can do that with your extra person. What are you into? What are you looking for? And let them kind of help guide the whole evening. But I know we've taken women out before, and we wined and dined them before we brought them back to the bedroom, and made sure that they were comfortable, made sure that we didn't spend too much time with each other, or you want to make sure that you're not spending too much time on one person, that everybody feels included. And you don't want someone sitting on the sidelines like...
Exactly. And I think that a lot of men in that situation will look at it because they've watched porn, they've had this fantasy their entire life, and they're like, it's all about me. I'm just going to sit back and you two just go to town on each other and me, and that's just great. And that's great in theory, but you also want to be, of course, doing things, but you want to make both of the women feel as comfortable as possible. First of all, you have your spouse or significant other who may not have done anything like this before. This might be your first time, and you're thinking, I hope she's okay. Is because she might very well be having doubts in her mind. For example, like, is she jealous of the other woman?
Right. Maybe body issues could be something. Is her body better than mine? Is she younger than me? Is he going to start, wanting to do this more with her? Or any of the issues that I think can come up with anytime you're having sex with someone else.
Absolutely. But when you're new, it's very much a common thing. It is something that you think about pretty much every time you play, until you've been doing this a while, and then it just kind of becomes, you realize that it's just more of a fun hobby that you can do that involves vaginas. So, so making a woman feel comfortable making the spouse feel comfortable is very important. Of course, making this new woman feel comfortable too, so that she doesn't just feel like they are literally going to bring me back to their place, have sex with me, and then kick me out.
Right.
That is something that even if a woman is perfectly okay with being just, you know, just for the body's enjoyment, we don't need to be friends, we don't need to do whatever, she still doesn't want to feel bad about the whole situation. And so that was always something that was very important to us. And also, because, well, first of all, a unicorn, just the name of it means that they're hard to come by, no pun intended. And so we also want, we and everyone else that's a couple in lifestyle want to make sure all of the unicorns are happy and all the unicorns stay playing with other couples and that type of thing, because unicorns are amazing. Right. That we don't want to make them feel bad. And
so is this more of a public service announcement?
A public service announcement. Be nice to your unicorn so that your unicorn eventually has sex with me. Thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, because I have talked to a lot of women that were like, you know what, I used to be a unicorn and I was treated really poorly. Yeah. And that's, it's just not okay. I mean, right. it's you know, these are people. These are, you know, it is a person, and it's something that not only have you been fantasizing for years, you're attracted to. You're if you do things correctly, you're gonna have amazing time. Maybe have another amazing time in the future with the same person, or many times that you want to make them as happy as possible. That's right. And feel secure and comfortable, and that you are not going to just treat them poorly. Yeah. When you've played with other women, have in that situation in a threesome, have you ever felt uncomfortable, or that I would enjoy the other woman more than you?
There was one other time that I wasn't fully into it, and I think that's partially because she wasn't bi, and I'm fine with that. I don't need to do that, but it just, like, when you two were having your thing, it was kind of like, what am I doing over here? You know, okay. You guys were being really intimate, and just, I felt like a third wheel. Okay. You know, so yeah, I mean, it has happened. Did it scar me? No.
You would do it again. Okay, good.
Yeah. I mean, I joke though that we're not doing it again until I get
a nice threesome with another guy. Sure, yeah, absolutely.
So it's my turn. But I think part of my problem with that, though, is that I'm too in my head. Like, it's got to be, like, I feel like it has to be the perfect situation. Like, it's got to be a guy that you're comfortable with, because you're not bi, and so you wouldn't want that aspect of it. Right. So I'm kind of like, well, then I get to do what you said you want to do. I'm just going to lie there and take it. Because I want to make sure that you have a good time. Right. Because I want you to be able to do it again, but it's like, I get nervous thinking about how do I keep everybody entertained and having a good time and still enjoy myself as well. And so I think I'm too, like, I've built it up too much in my head.
Well, I think in that situation you would keep everybody entertained because you have lots of holes. Just saying.
But it's important to me that it's someone that I feel comfortable with, like probably that I've already played with, and that I think that you would complement their style would complement your style, all up on this. And yeah, so I haven't found the right candidate yet.
Okay. Sure. Okay, well, let me know.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, because you know, it is interesting what you were saying about, you know, finding that right person is important, because, you know, early on, like we said, we were just so excited to have that unicorn that we actually played with a few people that, you know, were just, you know, that I look back now and I'd be like, yeah, they were great, but if it came up again now years later, would I play with that person? And, you know, probably not. It was more along the lines of just the sheer excitement of having a threesome with another woman.
But I think that does happen within the lifestyle. You connect with someone on a certain night and you think it's going to go well, and you know, you're horny or whatever, and you go in there and you go to the playroom and you do your thing, and you're like, I mean, it was fine, but do I need to revisit it? No. But again, it's a hobby, so it was fine.
Well, that happened. Yeah, you're right.
And I'm sure that happens, like, on our end too. Like, it's not. We're just not saying this about our experiences. I'm sure other people have experienced us and been like, well, she's a little frigid, so I wouldn't go back there again.
And that's a good point. That we had a threesome early on with a woman who we've probably talked about a couple times, from our vanilla world, who was just very a pillow princess, and it was, she was very attractive, but that was all she had going for her. And so from the threesome perspective...
Well, and she specifically told us her favorite position was just to lie there.
Yeah.
So,
good time.
The warning was there.
I didn't care. I'm like,
you didn't.
Just lie there. It's fine. But that being said, it was just like, from my own envision, I'm like, oh my God, this is a fantasy I've had for a long time with this woman, and it just wasn't that great. And years later, looking back, I'm just kind of like, no, I'm much more picky.
Yeah.
With thank you. More picky, much more. And that, but that in itself has made the lifestyle more enjoyable for me.
Yes.
Is that I am pickier with the people that I play with. And so the next time that we have a threesome, after you have the guy, of course.
Well, I might have to have a couple of experiences.
Whatever. The next time we have an experience with another woman, another bisexual woman, the odds are we're going to try very hard for us both to be very attracted to that woman, that we've actually connected on a stronger level than just, oh, she's hot, and that's the reason we're going to have sex with her. Because after you've been in the lifestyle for a while, you'll realize that there's a lot more to it than that. There's nothing wrong, and we've had these situations many times where we meet somebody either in the playroom or right outside the playroom, and we're just kind of like, yeah, you're attractive, let's go do this thing. That has happened many times. However, the more enjoyable experiences have been the times where we actually connect on some level with that woman or man or couple or whatever it might be, where we can actually go, that person's, not only am I physically attracted to them, but I'm also mentally attracted to them, and I like them as a person, which means, and I get the vibe that they like me as a person, which means that we're all going to try just a little bit harder to make sure that we all have a good time.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, that's what it's about. It's about all of us having a good time. You don't want one of any of those three people in that situation to be like, yeah, that was a bad situation. That was horrible. I feel bad. Or a wife who's depressed for a week because the guy was paying too much attention to this other person and not enough time to the wife. So it is important to connect. And I think a lot of unicorns are also attracted to, and we've talked about this, actually I think we talked about this in the last video, where they're attracted to a couple who is clearly attracted to each other.
Yeah.
When bisexual women see us at the club or wherever it might be that we're connecting with one, and they see that we're clearly in love with each other and that we're attracted to each other and we just kind of want to have sex with each other all the time, that in itself makes the woman more attracted to us.
Right.
And that's a great feeling.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anybody wants to walk into a relationship that is rocky to start with, Like another woman wouldn't want to walk into our bedroom if we're in the middle of a fight or we're not in a good place. Like, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to play with someone, with another couple or be someone's third if they're clearly, heading to divorce court or not in love with each other or whatever. I don't want to be... Or
in a fight in general.
Right. I don't want to be something that caused an issue or made the rift larger or whatever. So, and that goes with everything in the lifestyle, though. You need to take care of your relationship first. That is number one. This is just a hobby. This is just for fun. So make sure that you and your partner are in a good place before you go out and bring someone else into your bedroom, no matter how many people you bring into your bedroom.
Yeah. Because that will make for a better time, and you also have to look at it from the perspective of the woman too. Of the unicorn in that situation is like if you and your spouse are having a problem and you're like, you know what, the way to fix that is by bringing a bisexual woman in, we can have a great time, and you guys are already having a problem, and then she comes in and that just hurts you guys as a couple and potentially causes some serious problems in your relationship, and she knows about this. I mean, how is she going to feel?
Right.
She's going to feel terrible. Like she caused that, and she didn't cause that. You caused that,
right?
And you've created this catalyst for that, and that's dangerous, and it's not nice either.
No. So be nice to unicorns.
Be nice to unicorns, and they'll be nice to you.
Yes.
Perfect. And that, as a side note, that's something else that we said early on, was when we were having such a problem finding a unicorn, we're like, hey, what about a woman with a hall pass? A spouse with a hall pass, because that is a unicorn too. And so we started to put that out there. We actually had that on our profiles on the websites years ago, where it was just kind of like, unicorns are always welcome, but if you are a spouse with a hall pass, we'll gladly accept that too.
Absolutely.
Our bedroom is open for all. Perfect. And with that, make sure you check out www.clubsapphire.net and check out all the amazing parties that are coming up. And there are going to be a lot of unicorns at them. One thing we've talked about many times is we're always pleasantly surprised by the amount of unicorns at Club Sapphire. At other parties, house parties, other events we've been to, there might be one or two kind of scattered around, but we've been to events here that there might be like 20 or 30 of them. It's crazy. It's great, and I don't mind at all. I don't mind at all. There's generally quite a few, because they allow as many unicorns as want to come to come.
Well, and Club Sapphire is also a very safe space for single women, or if I were to go out by myself because you were in the middle of something or whatever, and you gave me a hall pass to come here by myself, I would 100% feel comfortable coming here by myself.
And being a unicorn.
100%. Yeah. I mean, we've been in situations where, the volunteers that work here, they watch what's going on. They make sure that people are comfortable and not feeling, like something is going on that shouldn't be going on, I guess. All
right. Well, is there anything else you want to say?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.